Today we're going to make a basic congee recipe with different ingredients and vegetables added to enhance the flavor and overall presentation of the dish. Our main ingredients are going to be brown rice, ginger root, carrots, daikon, a white onion, shiitake mushrooms, either dried and pre-soaked or fresh, and then sea salt, miso, sesame oil, and green onions to garnish. We've now measured out and prepped all the ingredients for the congee. We have 1 cup of rice. We have our carrots diced up pretty small, our daikon diced up a little smaller, our shiitake mushrooms a little bit bigger of chunks. We have our ginger julienne, that's going to cook down with the congee. Then we have our onion sliced up. We're going to cook this down a little bit before we actually put it in, so that will be in smaller pieces. And then finally our green onion, that will go on top. It's important to wash the rice before you make the congee to get off all the extra starch so that it makes a great consistency when it cooks. So wash this around 3 times just till the water runs clear. So our water is now boiling. We've added about 4 cups to the 1 cup of brown rice we're going to add in. So we're going to add our ingredients of the ginger root, the pinch of salt, and our brown rice. We're going to let this boil and then bring it down to a simmer. While the congee cooks, we're going to cook up these onions in a little bit of sesame oil. So just start on a high heat and then reduce low until they become translucent and a little bit golden brown. A quick check on our congee. It is starting to soak up all the water while still simmering. We're going to add a bit more water so it continues to cook down more. Our onions have started to cook down, as you can see. So I went ahead and added the shiitake mushrooms, which we're just going to cook, and then turn these off and wait to add them to the congee at the end before we eat it. Our congee is really thickening up. We've added water a few times. We're going to continue to let it cook because we're looking for a more creamy consistency than these whole grains. It's been cooking for about an hour, hour and a half at this point, with water added along the way. Our onions and shiitake mushrooms have finished cooking. You can see they're very cooked down. They've reduced in size and they are a nice golden flavor. So we are just going to turn those off, remove them from the heat, and set them aside until we are ready to mix everything together. So our congee is getting really thick and a nice creamy consistency. We're going to go ahead and add the carrots and daikon to the mixture and allow them to cook for about the last 20 minutes or so until tender. And so they're just mixed in the congee and ready to be consumed. The congee is done cooking. I went ahead and added the onions and mushrooms, and we're just going to mix those in. And now we have our congee. Now when you're ready to eat, you're going to add about a tablespoon, less or more depending on your taste preference, to your congee, usually about a spoonful per cup. So you're just going to go ahead and mix that in really nice. It might take a while to get it in there. You want to really make sure the congee has cooled off a bit before you add the miso. You do not ever want to add miso to any boiling water or substance, as it will kill the beneficial enzymes in that. So finally, we have our finished product with the green onion garnish on top, and it is ready to enjoy. The recipe did start with 1 cup of brown rice, and it did make a pretty large portion. So when making this, you do want to take into consideration how much you want to make, and probably size down a bit unless you're feeding a family, or you can always store your congee and enjoy it throughout the week. Everyone enjoy their congee, and thanks for following along.